Welcome to the Backpacking Blisters podcast. Thank you for joining us, everybody. With me today is my co-host, Ben McAuliffe. What is going on, my friend?
Not much. How about you? You excited to learn about some food today?
Learn about some food ideas. We're always looking for creative food ideas to try to,
I like to eat.
Improve our trips, make us enjoy it more, get away from things like cold soaking and other terrible ideas. So, all right, what's your number one ranked, most popular, most favorite backcountry meal of all time?
I had it on one of our recent trips, and it's the Peak Refuel Backcountry Bison Bowl because it had like real biscuits in it that like good size, good taste, good food.
Right.
That's my go-to, but after 3 days of eating dehydrated food, it gets kind of old and sits in your stomach. So I'm excited for Chef CORSO to come on and hopefully teach us how to upgrade some. What's yours?
Well, I'm just curious, so of all the things you've ever eaten outdoors backcountry, it was freeze-dried meal was your answer.
Well, I mean, that's backpacking. I mean, if we're going...
Like, how can you do anything besides that backpacking, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, if it's any meal that I've had, hands down steak, onions,
okay. Now we're talking.
We canoed, yeah.
You can bring perishable food, especially that first night. I've made some hamburgers that have been super amazing. I've made them over the fire. I brought a pan for them, depending upon the situation. So, yeah, that's probably mine. I also like pancakes. Pancakes are good.
Oh, pancakes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I froze our steaks so that they'd be like good when we got to camp. Like that's what everyone said. But we were in northern Minnesota in like April. So the steaks actually didn't thaw out too well. Oh. So we still cooked them.
Okay.
And just took a little longer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It makes it more worthwhile. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about our own food ideas, which aren't going to be good as our guest, Chef CORSO's. But coming up, we've got our top 3 trail snacks. Top 3. And then... I also have I've got a Derek update. We've been kind of updating throughout this month to kind of know what's going on. He's coming back soon, so we'll talk about that in our tidbit section as well. Woo. Yeah, so this episode is brought to you by Enlightened Equipment, of course. So if you're looking for ultralight custom quilts that can keep you warm after a nice meal that's just sitting in your stomach, they can help you get your base weight down, and you can bring less gear weight, more food weight to get out there. So go to enlightenedequipment.com.
You got the Bible verse?
I do. Proverbs 15:17, better a small serving of vegetables with love than a fattened calf with hatred. You like that one?
Yeah, I do. So how does that pertain?
What's my question? Love is better than hatred, of course, even if love is given with vegetables.
Yeah.
Is the Bible admitting here that vegetables just aren't that good on their own?
That's what it sounds like. I think it's the love part though. Like, everyone wants the fattened calf and the cow, but if it's made with vengeance and, have you ever had a meal your mom prepared that like kind of guilted you? Like my mom always would.
I don't think I eat a lot of meals made with vengeance.
No, but like, like guilt, like, I went to my great grandma's house, and we would just sit there and have to eat because she's like, oh, here's some more. And we're stuffed, but it's like 92-year-old great grandma.
Yeah. We're
eating it if she keeps loading up our plate.
Oh, no. You just put it in the napkin and give it to the dog, right?
Oh, no. There was no napkins. I think she was on to us.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I haven't had that issue, but I understand the concept. And yeah, I mean, obviously that's not what this is about. I just think people realize vegetables are good for you, and you can make them taste good, but on their own, by themselves, especially raw, they're not always the best. So let's be honest here. All right, so let's talk about some good food, though. We got Chef CORSO. He's got genius food ideas. It's going to revolutionize your backcountry kitchen coming up right now. With us today is the most entertaining adventure chef in the world. He hosts his own food show with elements of adventure and travel, as well as a popular YouTube channel. Chef CORSO, how's it going today?
It's going great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure. All right, Chef, before we begin, the question everybody wants to know is, who's your favorite TV chef?
Ooh, that's good.
Good question to kick things off. He might not have a show anymore, but one of my favorite chefs is Rick Bayless. He's a American chef out of Chicago and specializes in regional Mexican cuisine. He's one of my favorites, but I mean, there's so many great ones out there. I mean, Bobby Flay is still rocking it, and Jada and Einengarten are just classic options from the Food Network too. So those are some ones that comes to mind. And actually, one of my other favorites is Alton Brown. If you guys remember him doing Good Eats, he was one of the first to bring food science and kind of a little bit more of the technical elements of food to the forefront. So I appreciate his style and all of the information and recipes that he shared too.
Do you think that he would be a fun person to talk to, like off camera? Would he be like a jovial kind of fun guy, or do you think he would just be like telling what you're doing wrong?
I mean, he has so much knowledge and has so much experience on so many shows, so I think he'd be pretty fun to talk to.
Yeah, he seems quick-witted. I was wondering if you're going to start doing cameras where like your camera's inside your jet boil or something. Like he always opens up the oven or the refrigerator, and there's a camera looking at him.
Sure. I mean, I think we can get a little fun with it next year, maybe.
And to be honest, like what got me hooked on your channel was, like, I just saw you, I don't know if it was on a backpacking trip or like a simulated backpacking trip, where you just like had this big potato and you're like, just bring a potato and add a couple things. And you got this like fancy meal. You basically said something like, you can use a potato and a jet boil and you turn it into a meal. So, okay, to me, that sounds like a challenge. So for those who are sporting jet boils, like, what's the secret sauce to potato plus jet boil?
Sure. So and I think what's interesting with the potato and some of the vegetable examples is that we think that everything has to be under constant refrigeration or else we're gonna get sick. But when you think about potatoes, they grow in the dirt, and they're usually in a cool area for storage, and so it's gonna be fine to throw it in your pack. Do you want to take a 5-pound bag of potatoes? I don't know. Maybe it's your own personal rucking mission to take it all up there. But 1 or 2 is going to be okay. And it's going to last for multiple days and give you something really hearty. You know, if you're thinking that's a crazy idea, you could easily use the classic instant mashed potatoes for some of these dishes. But there's a couple.
No, that's less interesting. I like the full potato.
Sure. I mean,
I think I'm bringing the 5-pound bag up and I'm planting potatoes on like there and like, all right, guys, next year we don't have to bring any food. There's potatoes for days.
Sure. Right. I agree. Like I like having the full potato too, and we have a couple great recipes just for some quick classic stews. So you can do a chicken and gravy stew, kind of like a holiday situation, and also a beef stew. So you can use different gravy packets for your seasoning, kind of thin them out a little bit, or some bouillon cubes. Love packing snap peas or some baby carrots, maybe some French's fried onions or garlic powder, onion powder in there. And basically you're just boiling up the potato with some seasonings in there, and it's super tasty. You know, packaged chicken or beef jerky rehydrates well in soups and stews too. So both of those are classic filling options, and you're not having to eat out of a bag, which is, I think, a very good thing.
I was wondering how you got that chicken taste. Like, were you taking a chicken on the trail or a cow, like carrying your stuff and like, all right, we're here. So the bouillon is what makes it.
Mind blown, Ben, huh? Wait, you're bringing potato? Are you bringing the animals too? Is that the question right there? Oh my gosh. Okay, but when you say jet boil, I just think, I know they have different kinds, but the one I think that you were using was full blast or nothing. And so I know that, you know, if you're boiling your thinned out gravy with whatever else you put in there, the potato has to cook that takes a while. Even if you slice it up pretty small, it takes a while. So you're not getting any burned gravy residue on the bottom of the pot. Is that correct?
So for that recipe, I would start with just the potato and the water. And jet boils can turn down to a moderate heat. They don't low simmer very well, but it's not just rocket to the moon or nothing. So it can cook a little bit better than just the boiling water. So I would start with some thin chunks or small pieces of the potato, so the sizes and density isn't super big, and it takes probably 5 to 10 minutes to be able to boil up. But similar to waiting for a packaged meal, it's about the same amount of time, and then you throw in your seasonings, your gravy packet, so it doesn't scorch and burn on the bottom.
So what's one of your favorite home cooked meals that you're able to replicate in the backcountry? Like when you're talking about the potatoes, I'm thinking like Carl hasn't made mashed potatoes because it's just boiling potatoes and water.
No, it's not. What are you talking about? What are your mashed potatoes?
Yeah, it is. The mashed potatoes you just boil. Yeah, you just boil it.
Incorrect.
Okay,
Incorrect.
We can settle mashed potato ingredients later.
What's the question? You just want to talk about mashed potatoes?
I don't know. You got me all like, yeah. Like, how do you make mashed potatoes now is the question I want to ask, because you think it's hard, but it's easy.
But that's not your question, Ben. Do you want to try again?
That wasn't my question, no. Yeah, I'll try again. What's one like meal that you love at home that you're able to replicate in the backcountry?
Yeah, we actually have a lot. And, inspiration for recipes come from a lot of different places, whether that's cooking pasta and red sauce at home or going out to dinner and having something tasty and interesting as I'm traveling around and then trying to replicate that for a packable trail meal. We have a whole recipe series called the Classics Elevated, where I actually match almost all the packaged meal flavors. And, a lot of those flavors come from inside cooking. And so some that come to mind are beef stroganoff or
Mm.
mushroom stroganoff if you're a vegetarian, jambalaya, pad thai, fried rice or mango fried rice. Those are excellent. We've also have some Jamaican jerk recipes as well. And I think one of them that I did some further testing on earlier this year or last year was the way to make marinara sauce out on the trail, because pasta and red sauce is excellent, but it's wet, it's heavy. Don't want to take a jar out there. And so I have a couple recipes that's 5-minute marinara for either the baby tomatoes that can pack along with you, or you can use tomato paste that comes in a tube. Let's pack that really
Oh yeah.
well. Or I even went farther and more lightweight with tomato powder. So that is a special order that you can get, but you can make 5-minute marinara with any one of those options and then add it to your pasta.
If you're taking food with you or the ingredients with you and you're squeezing it out of a tube, does that do anything to kind of ruin the overall eating experience where you're like, this came from a tube?
I mean, if it tastes good at the end of it, I'm okay. And also,
You don't care. You don't care.
I'm good. I'd rather squeeze it out of a tube than eat it out of a bag. So
Really? Okay. Tubes are better than bags.
tubes are better than bags, in my opinion. Also, another great tube food is pesto comes in a tube too.
I don't think I've seen pesto. Where is this? Like Trader Joe's? What are you talking about here?
Can be Trader Joe's. I found them at some larger grocery stores in the Italian section next to the tomato paste.
Okay.
Can be there too, or just some special order on Amazon.
Did you find it, or did you go up to the store clerk and say, "Do you happen to have pesto in a tube?"
I mean, I know it exists, and it's not at every store, so it
Okay.
is a little bit of a white whale for an ingredient, but it's out there.
Where are you packing your food in your backpack? I mean, obviously it's in your backpack, but how do you, like, you're bringing tomatoes, potatoes are pretty hardy, but like, do you bring eggs too ever? Because I know they can last, they got a good shelf life too.
Yeah, for anything that's a little bit more soft or has a potentially to get bruised, it's put it on the brain of your backpack or the top section. Don't have those tomatoes on the bottom. Depending on when you're planning to eat specific ingredients, you can throw those potatoes kind of in the mid or the bottom just to kind of even out your weight. But, I don't take full potatoes on every backpacking trip. I am mindful of the overall weight and volume too. I mean, when I first started testing recipes, I was throwing, whole white
Right.
onions, whole yellow onions in my pack and chop them up, which is fine. But then I
Oh
realized
yeah.
that it was taking up too much volume for other things. So I kind of just transitioned to the powdered options or French's fried onions, as I was talking about earlier, are great to add for the onion flavor.
That's that's the mistake I would have made, is like bringing actual
Right.
whole potatoes.
Okay.
Like, I want a potato, so now I'm like, cut them up. If you're having one meal, have half a potato. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
So people, as we're listening to you share all these ideas, I know we can't, process everything. So we're gonna have links in the show description to some of the YouTube videos that go along with this. But I think this is hopefully inspiring folks to kind of up their food game. So I got one last food specific question, because I think you did a separate video on this one. And how do you make a good trail taco?
Yeah, trail tacos are the best.
I know you got me excited about them.
I mean, tacos are so great in general. I mean, we're eating them at home, we're eating them on the street, but we should eat them on the trail too. So I've done a couple different recipes, a couple different videos around this, and a couple of them are breakfast tacos. Great way to start your day, and also not have it be sweet if you're needing something a little bit different. And so some ingredients you can look to for a breakfast taco are powdered eggs, and they hydrate nicely, and be able to give you some scrambled egg kind of experience. You can get some dehydrated flake beans, and those can hydrate as well. And textured vegetable protein or TVP or any of those plant-based meats can last for multiple days, and if they're already prepared, can last for multiple days. But the TVP can last pretty much forever, and so you can make a kind of a quick backpacker chorizo hack for some sausage experience. Put that all together, with some cheese. If you're lucky enough to be able to pack an avocado as well, that's pretty luxurious. And, put that all together. There's also pre-cooked, prepackaged bacon that lasts for multiple days. Just hit it with a little bit of heat to crisp it up. So, you could also do all of those things and make a big old breakfast gordo taco. That would be fantastic. And, one tip that I can share for however you want to fill it is toast your tortillas. And
yeah.
It's one of my frustrations inside and outside is people who take a corn or flour tortilla out of the plastic bag from the refrigerator and just eat it. It needs to get woken up. It's been sitting in there for a long time, so at least throw it in the microwave for a few seconds. But if you have a few minutes, put it in a dry pan. Just get it a little bit warm, a little toasty. But if you are on the trail, just throw it right over the burner. It's going to be fine. Moving around, it'll take you 5 to 10 seconds to toast it up, but that 5 or 10 seconds will give you some flavor, some texture, and really bring your trail taco together. And please, please, please toast your tortillas.
Okay.
But then for dinner or lunch options is you can rehydrate beef jerky and add some fajita veggies for kind of a steak experience. Or you can do, again, beans and instant rice, eggs and packaged chicken, and you've got something that's super, super good for dinner any time of day.
I need to apologize to Carl. I made fun of him for heating up his tortilla on our backpacking trip. He was using a stick and was heating it up, and we were all kind of poking fun at him. Yeah, in the rain,
over the campfire.
Yeah. So you were doing it right.
Don't let them make fun of you for that. You're doing good things.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you. I do like to heat it up. I like to crisp it up too, if it's possible. Get some oil or something. But,
so you kind of went over like
sure.
the top 3 suggestions to upgrade meals. Do you have any other quick tips for upgrading a meal?
Yeah, there's some ingredients that I found through testing that I think are great for my trips, and I hopefully can help yours. So one of them is coconut milk powder. It is a special order. It can be at a health food store, Asian grocery store, but it's so nice to be able to add that to a Thai curry dish or a noodle dish. Can add it to breakfast as well if you're looking for just a different flavor than just apple cinnamon or maple brown sugar, and also adds really well to Indian dishes too.
And coffee, chef, of course,
and coffee too, of course. Yeah, if you can eat some creamer in the morning, then that can be great. Yeah. So we're talking about how to menu engineer and how to menu plan. Packing coconut milk powder can work for multiple recipes through your trips, which can be really nice. The other one is spice mixes, and this is kind of a general one, but I coach folks for inside and outside cooking is to seek out good quality and fresh spice mixes. Whether you're ordering that online or finding a local shop, is a lot of the spice mixes at the grocery store are old, or they are bulked up with salt or paprika. So oftentimes chili powder is very rarely 100% chilies or a blend of things that you actually want in there. It's bulked up with paprika or salt. So flip the container around and kind of read the ingredients and see what's in there. But good quality fresh spice mixes are your friend, for it is the lightest weight ingredient and the highest impact to be able to make your meals great. So that's an Indian curry powder, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, Mexican spice blends. All those kind of things can be a first step to make your meals very, very good. The last one that I was thinking about is dehydrated mushrooms or dried mushrooms, specifically from the Asian grocery store. And I say that because they are cheaper and better quality, and you can get a whole big bag of them for like $6-8, where that same amount at a quote unquote normal grocery store, or Trader Joe's or Safeway or that kind of thing would be anywhere from $8 to $10 for like 5 mushrooms. So I highly suggest you, if you're traveling around or if you're in a metro area, is seek out the Asian grocery stores, whether that's an H Mart or a Wajimaya or any of these ones out there, because they have aisles and aisles of rice noodles in different shapes and better ramen and different spice mixes and sauces and the mushrooms, and oftentimes some very fun fruits and vegetables too that you maybe haven't seen before. I love taking kids or grandkids to an Asian grocery store because it's just like a field trip, and you're like, what are these things? And like all these different flavors of chips and crackers and and Pocky sticks and flavors and things, and give them 10.
And crabs that latch on to you as you walk by, like that kind of stuff happens too.
Totally. And
I get so intimidated by it. Like I'm looking at a ginger root, like what am I supposed to do with this?
it's amazing. So like, give them $10 and just have them, go have a field day.
That's a good idea. But use the $10. That's so funny.
Totally. But I really mean it is the Asian grocery store is a fantastic spot for some very economical finds to help build out your meal plan.
You keep on throwing around this phrase. Is it recipe engineer? Is that what you say?
Recipe engineering, or kind of meal plan engineering. So you're kind of thinking about how the nuts and bolts and the pieces fit together in order to have something efficient that flows.
Did you coin that phrase?
Carl's going to now.
Okay. Now it's mine.
I think it's probably a deeper chef or deeper hospitality phrase.
I always wonder, like, it's fun seeing how your mind works as a chef, because like I watched the show Chopped a lot when I was working as an EMT, and like the baskets don't even make sense. And I'm like, I don't know what I would do with like ginger snaps,
right.
For like you have to reuse it. You can't just do it. So it's fun to see how you're like, well, rehydrate beef jerky and you can kind of have steak. It's like, well, that's so simple, but yet, not a lot of people think of that.
Yeah. And some of the recipes have been very fun to test because you don't know until you test. But another one that I did a quick little hack on was a strawberry shortcake recipe. And basically, you take freeze-dried strawberries, throw it with some water and a couple sugar packets or a couple honey packets in your pot, and then you put it over a Twinkie.
Wow.
And it is quite good. And actually, one of the recent videos I did with another YouTuber is we roasted the Twinkies over the camp stove to get a little toasty roasty on the outside, and that took it to a whole nother level.
Did that break the camp stove?
It did not. It didn't. It didn't quite ooze out, and we didn't go into a wormhole or anything. So we survived.
It's now time for our lightning round. This is something we've been doing the last couple months. Popular part of our show. We're gonna 1 minute to answer as many questions as you can. They could be about anything. They could be some food questions, backpacking questions. They could be some off the wall crazy questions. I think our record is at 12 or 13, Ben. What do we got?
12 or 13. I think was it 13? I feel like it was 13.
I don't know. On average, people can answer like 6 to 8. So if you're doing better than that, you're doing great. And then we got a prize at the end of the season for the guest that can answer the most. So yeah.
I hope it's you because it's you get to cook a meal for me and Carl if you win.
That's the prize. That's the reward. Okay, so the timer starts once Ben asks his first question. So Ben, you ready?
I'm ready. Weirdest animal that ever visited your campsite from your food aroma cooking?
Possum.
What's the best place to go backpacking?
Pacific Northwest.
All right.
Favorite TV show?
Man, oh no. I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but I'll say Good Eats, Alden Brown.
All right. What's a piece of gear that you stopped bringing, no longer bring?
A long-handled spoon.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's fine. Is Snickers a candy bar or a protein bar?
Snickers. And specifically Snickers almond.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you more afraid of Zerg or the Oompa Loompas?
Oompa Loompas.
One item you must have backpacking.
A chef knife and a spork.
What is an underrated food item?
Ooh.
Rice noodles.
How do you like your eggs?
Over medium and scrambled with cheese.
And stop. All right. Ben, how many questions did you get out there?
3, 4. I got 4. 5. Sorry,
okay.
5.
Okay, and I got 4. I think I'm counting correctly. All right, 9. So that puts you firmly into, I believe, second place. Congratulations. Well done.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well done. All right, so any reactions to anything you said there, Ben?
The possum, I think, was one. And then I did ask the Snickers, is it a candy bar or protein bar? Because on this show...
it's energy bar. Energy bar, Ben.
Energy bar, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, energy bar.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was an either or. Yeah, that's an interesting one. So I'm not sure if you watched the YouTube video where I did kind of some deep dive into this.
No, wait, what? I must admit, no, this is like...
No, we didn't.
This speaks to my heart right now, so I got to go back and check this one out.
Okay, so yeah, earlier this fall, I had this question as a curious chef and a former product developer. Like, I know how a lot of these products
Okay.
are made,
I don't know if I want that.
and I was like, which is healthier, quote unquote, is a Snickers bar or a Cliff Bar or a muffin or a cookie?
Dude, I did that on our show, but I only did Cliff Bar and Snickers bar, but I compared calories and ingredients. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So check it out, because I mean, I went sort of a deep dive into all these bars, and I put all of the caloric and all the micros and all the macros next to each other, and some of the ingredient listings of probably 24 options. Not everything, but a
Wow.
lot. And
Okay.
the other thing I love about food
Yep.
is what I call food form, where a calzone is not a pizza, right? But it's the same ingredients, but it's a different menu item. Or the question of how do you like your eggs, right? Where your body doesn't really care
Right.
how you eat two
Yeah.
eggs. It's calories, but then over easy, over medium, hard boiled, scrambled are all so different, and then we all have our preferences around that. And further along with the bar question of, okay, so peanut butter and chocolate Cliff Bar is very similar to a Snickers, but one is a little bit more accepted as a candy or a candy or a snack or a treat, and one is like, oh, well, that's energy
Okay.
for
Yeah.
the trail, and that's okay. So many of them are so close, within 30 to 50 calories of each other, or a couple grams of protein or a couple grams of fat here and there, that it's almost a push.
All I'm hearing you say is through scientific evidence, you have proven that Snickers is an energy bar. And so that's the conclusion of what I'm saying, and we're going with it. And I'm going to cite this conversation for years to come.
That's fine. Well, and the thing about it is, when you look at food from a truly basic level, it is fuel and it is energy.
Okay.
And there's a whole lot more to it, in my opinion, as far as excitement, satiation, dietary, all kinds of things. But yeah, there's a lot of energy in a Snickers bar. Sure.
I would like to formally say "told you so" to all the fun haters out there who are listening to our show, including my old co-host Derek, who's we'll talk more about him later. But anyway, yeah. So thank you. Just that question and that analysis alone was definitely like the highlight, maybe of the season. Maybe the season.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Carl. You're welcome.
Well, I can't wait for you to watch the video and let me know how you feel about it.
All that being said, like, you're sounding so intelligent with the breakdown of everything. So what makes you so afraid of Oompa Loompas?
They're a little small. You never know where they're going to be. And I know they have a lot of knowledge for making candy and making chocolate, but I think they could be a little sneaky.
When you know you're doing something wrong, they just start singing a song about you too.
That's right. That's the giveaway right there. Okay.
Start rolling you down the trail.
So there's a lot of chefy shows out there, a lot of Food Network shows, whatever. One of my favorites over the years is a show called Cutthroat Kitchen, where every contestant gets a pile of money, and they try to hang on to as much as they can throughout all these challenges, but they're bidding on sabotages to sabotage their opponents. So if you were on a show called Backcountry Cutthroat Kitchen, my question is, which sabotage would you be most likely to bid on, and which one would you not mind enduring? All right, so I'm going to give you three. First one is build a campfire and use that as your only heat source. Second one is use Mountain House chicken and rice and whatever else you can forage to make gourmet chicken and rice. And the third one is release a bear into your opponent's backcountry kitchen.
I mean, that's pretty terrible. The last one right there, because you're not getting anything done. So I'd probably bid pretty high on the bear. The campfire, I think you can maybe forage for something without a campfire, but that would be kind of a moderate one that spent a little bit of money on. I think that the last one's the easiest, actually, because the chicken and rice is a pretty blank slate and pretty solid. Already has seasonings in there, so you maybe just forage for some spruce tips or some ramps or some wild berries, and that could actually jazz it up. Not bad. So I wouldn't mind doing that. Yeah, I was thinking about this question too, of some other random ones, because I know there's a whole bunch of wacky things that they come up with, but like one that I was thinking of having some contestant get honey from an active beehive. That would be terrible.
Yeah. Do you see Bear Grylls do that one time when he was trying to survive? And then he's like allergic, so his face was just like
not good. But one that I was thinking would actually be sort of fun to see is if you take all the chef knives away from people. And no knives at all, no pocket knives. And you just let people use sticks and rocks to make their meals, because we have mortars and
Rocks,
pestles.
yeah.
We have rotisseries in things just to like really get back to nature and to pulverizing and making things with some of the tools that we've created. So I think that would be a really fun one, it wouldn't be too challenging for folks.
I like that you came with your own ideas. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'll tell you what, if we produce this show, we make it happen, we'll send you the first invite. Sounds like you're ready, and you'd probably win, for being honest here.
Backcountry Cutthroat Kitchen.
You started a company called Outdoor Eats. Can you tell us about it? Like, what's this company all about, and what you got going on?
Yeah, Outdoor Eats is a company and community that I founded to help us all eat well outdoors. So I'm a classically trained chef. I trained in Napa Valley in northern Italy, and I've been in the food industry for over 20 years of multiple positions within restaurants. I was culinary consultant. One of my main positions was as a research chef. So I got to test and develop new food products in a test kitchen, and have always had this sort of curious mind about food, and not only how to create a good meal, but then how does that come about? And so a lot of my positions and things that I was testing before was ice creams and salad dressings, sandwiches, soups, and salads. So very classic options. I've never really worked in anything super fine dining, and that's never really been my style. I just like really solid, tasty food, and also figuring out the best way to be able to create that. So I'm from the Great Pacific Northwest. Grew up outside of Seattle, Washington, in Port Angeles, Washington, at the base of the Olympic National Park. And so mountains and national parks were always around. And, it took me a little bit of time to really explore them. I go on some day hikes with my family, but it took me a while to get invited on a first few backpacking trips with my friends. And I was hooked really early on. And especially being in the Northwest, there's so much beauty and there's so much to explore. But I noticed that a lot of folks were just boiling water and adding it to a bag and calling it dinner. And as a chef, I was sort of perplexed by that, and also saw it as a very big missed opportunity to have something that you're actually excited for and you're actually wanting to eat, rather than just shoveling down some calories out of a bag. So I started to test some recipes with the smaller capacity camp stove in mind, and came up with some recipe rails, as I call them, because there are challenges to cooking outdoors and cooking in the backcountry. So what we provide is single recipes, and we have a whole website called Outdoor Eats TV, or OutdoorEats.com, that has all of our recipes. We have over 300 trail tested recipes. We have all of our recipes on our website, OutdoorEats.com. And for those recipe rails, all recipes are 10 ingredients or less, ready in 30 minutes or less. No pre-prep, no dehydrating, no packaged meals. I just want you to go to the grocery store, pack it up, and get out there.
My question is more like an over analysis of a comment that you made about kind of the backstory. You had some friends, I forget how you phrased it, but basically you said, like, after a while they invited you to go backpacking.
I thought that too.
So was it like they're going backpacking without you and you had to somehow earn your spot on their backpacking trip? Like you had to prove your worth somehow?
No, it was in high school, and my family, we enjoy seeing the mountains, and again, those kind of short little day hikes. But my parents were not campers, so it was more of, I think for going to the outdoors, besides cooking, it can be intimidating just on an equipment perspective. So I didn't have a backpack, didn't have a sleeping bag, didn't have all that stuff. Sure. So they invited me, they let me borrow their stuff so I could test it out. And so I'm really happy that they're able to do that. But I think that's kind of a similar story for a lot of folks, because you don't want to drop $1,000 on an activity that you're not going to do again. But I think they were happy that they invited me, because I brought better snacks and cooked a few meals.
Real food.
that person's always invited.
Yeah.
All right, Chef, man, we really appreciate you coming on the show.
So much fun.
For those that want all of this good stuff that you've been talking about, they want to follow you on YouTube, they want to check out Outdoor Eats, they want to get these recipes, they want to be making the best food out on the trail. What do you have coming up? What do you have going on? Where can they find you? All the above.
Yeah, so all the recipes are at outdooreats.com. If you do want to sign up as a recipe tester, do have a little form on there as well, and would love to have you. And we're always looking to test more recipes and add them to the recipe bank. And the YouTube channel is Chef Corso, CORSO, and all the socials from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook is at Outdoor Eats 365. And then for Outdoor Eats TV, you can check our local listings at FanDuel Sports or Outside TV, or you can find their episodes on the YouTube channel as well. So check all that out. And, what we're planning for 2025 is, I'm still traveling and vagabonding around the country and teaching some workshops along the way, and promoting the cookbooks, promoting the television show. And we actually filmed the first episode of season 3 in August in Switzerland and Liechtenstein. So you can stay tuned for that. That'll be airing in July. And I got to go eat cheese in a Alpine Valley after going on a hike with a Olympic skier. It was great.
Nice.
Really, really fun experience.
That's a lot of different things going on there.
A lot of different things going on, but all of them were great. And so it's been fun to create those stories and tell those stories around food and around the outdoors in a slightly different way. So I really look forward to a lot of you guys checking that out. But if you're up for coming along for the recipe tester process, we'd love to have you and following along. As far as the content for YouTube, I will continue to cook up some recipes. If you guys are listening and have a question or have a recipe that you want me to make on the channel, just throw it in the comments or throw me an email. And also do a lot of equipment reviews and kind of some packing tips and tricks too. So, but anything you'd like to see on there, please let me know, because it's fun to create those.
We could let you know right now. How about a homemade Snickers bar?
Well, we can do a deconstructed Snickers bar.
That's too. I would take that as well. Oh, I see him thinking. He's thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah. I like it.
Okay.
It's actually it might be pretty easy because you just do some trail mix, and how do you do the nougat? That'd be the tough one.
I think that would be like a different kind of s'mores where you add some marshmallow into it and crackers.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Something to think about. But as promised, we're gonna have all of these links in our show description. You want to check out any and all those things. Chef Corso, man, it's been such an honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much for hopping on here.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
been
awesome.
Great to chat food with you, and look forward to doing it again.
Ben, what's your number one takeaway? What you got?
My number one takeaway was how many times he told me I had good questions. So, I think, if we remember back a couple episodes, you made fun of me for asking Durstin a long-winded question that you said made no sense. And here he is, like, this guy.
I didn't say it made no sense. I just didn't want you to scold the guest while you're asking him a question.
Yeah. Anyways, good questions. And what was the biggest revelation? Snicker bars are basically protein bars. So you're welcome.
Energy bars.
So,
Goodness
so you're welcome.
Energy bars.
So you're welcome. So good. I have good questions.
Okay. No, legit. You did have some good questions, and I really liked your opening question about his favorite chef. And so, or whatever, what was it like?
Favorite TV chef, and it was Bayless, and I've never heard of him. So
I've heard of him. I feel like I've seen a show with a guy, but I gotta go back and look. But he talked about some other, like Alton Brown. You know him, right?
Yeah, Alton Brown I like.
Yeah.
Like I like all his shows.
Okay.
But I should have asked like current TV chef. Like,
Yeah.
We're not going back for Julia Childs or anything like that. So
right. That's fair. You did ask some good questions, and you did a really good job with questions, except for one. There was one that was where you were asking him. Okay, so you got the question out fine. You were asking him like, what is the best meal that he can replicate from home in the backcountry? But then you could not stop yourself, and then you just started talking about mashed potatoes.
Well, because I had to make fun of you because you're like,
do one or the other. You can't make fun of me and ask a question with two unrelated things. That was ridiculous.
Well, I should have just stopped and been like, all right, let's talk mashed potatoes.
Right. Yeah.
Carl says there's hard and there's more than one ingredient than mashed potatoes. I mean, there's butter. Some people use milk, but that's it. Like,
no,
you just boil
that's
your
not
potatoes.
it, dude. I'll make mashed potatoes for you. There's so many other things you put in there. You put in white pepper. You put in thyme. You put in cream. You put in chicken stock. There's so many things.
Yeah, you can, but basic mashed potatoes are just potatoes with some butter and salt.
Don't waste your time with basic mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
This is like a chefy show, and you're like, well, let me tell you how to make basic stuff. That's not what people want.
No, they want to upgrade.
Want
what was a good takeaway for you?
Yeah, I think I like those little tips, like the tortilla tips. I think are the most fun, or how to make tacos, rehydrating the the what do you call it, the
beef jerky.
Beef jerky. Thank you. And I'm still and then I was curious about how to do the kind of the potato stew that he had, where I'm like, that's gonna burn on the bottom of the jet boil. Not that we're always bringing a jet boil, but so I just like those tips about we'll just boil it first and then add your mix in. And so I think those are super helpful. I've seen some of his stuff and I'm like engaged and I want to try some of these things on the trail. So
I do, but sometimes by the time I get to the trail, like boiling water is hard enough.
Okay, no, hey, that's a really good point. Seriously, because I was thinking about this and I was like, this is not for every trip. If you're doing a hard trip, high miles, you're going to be tired. You're getting to camp at, near nighttime. Yeah. This is not what you want to bring. You want to have the dehydrated stuff 100%, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe the first night where you can just shed like 5 pounds of food that you brought, have a good meal, good hearty meal. And then after that, it's just, maybe you're hitting the trails harder or whatever. Right. But, I never thought of bringing half a potato. That was eye-opening for me.
I want the full potato, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that if you have time at camp, if you want to enjoy the process of making a good meal, here's the problem with this though, I'll be honest, is that it's tough because I really enjoy the meals a ton more when I've put in a hard day.
Yeah.
And so, but if I put in a hard day, I don't want to make a gourmet meal.
Right. Well, and then,
right?
Unless it's all prepackaged, like we've done that where we've brought like seasonings and stuff, like I mentioned, like the steaks. There are times where you get there and it's like, I don't want to be cooking and prepping while everyone else is boiling water and they're having fellowship time. And we're, here I am with a cutting board.
Right.
And,
that's a good point too.
Trying to make something fancy, so.
Yeah. Well, and then they see yours, then they take yours. They eat.
Right. Or they make fun of you the whole time and scold you like they did when you were roasting your tortilla.
Yeah, I wasn't that. Yeah, you apologized. I wasn't that. I don't even remember doing that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was everybody, or maybe we did it for you. But yeah, it was funny.
Well, that's fine. Okay, so hopefully there was a takeaway for you from Chef Corso, because we've had a lot of folks be like, when are you guys having some more food talk? Like, people love talking about food, and we get it. It's fun, but we want to make it valuable. So hopefully there's something for you there.
Sweet.
Okay, you got trivia, right?
I got trivia. I do. I got meal trivia.
Coming up right after this. The trail is calling your name. Are you ready? Are you really ready? Our good friend Rowan from Summit Strength can get you trail ready. Rowan uses rock-solid evidence to design a specialized training program just for you. There are plenty of cookie-cutter programs out there that will get you only halfway up the mountain. Make it to your adventure summit with Summit Strength. The link to your success is always in our episode description, but you can check out all the information you need at summitstrength.com.au/online. It's time to be strong and pain-free for your next adventure. All right, Ben's got meal trivia. Trivia is brought to us by Teton. If you're looking to make those chefy backcountry meals like we discussed, you need the gear to get you out there. So check out the affordable lineup from Teton. It's comfortable, dependable, and easy on the wallet. If you're a newer or middle-level backpacker, avoid disaster and go to tetongear.com. What you got, Ben?
All right, I got meal trivia. All right, so are you ready? Do you eat food? Do you like food? You ready for it?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm not know the answers to your questions, though, right?
Well, I'd hope you'd know some of these. All right, the first one. This meal consists of high sodium, flour, and water, sometimes flavored in chicken or beef. Is it A, chicken noodle soup, B, noon, C, ramen, or D, beef stroganoff?
So, flour, water, high sodium, and what was the other one?
And sometimes flavored in chicken or beef or shrimp.
Okay. You just like planted the seed of like a savory noon in my head, which I'm like, dude, that if they could have like a chicken noodle soup noon and you just like heat it up, that's not a bad idea. I'm gonna suggest that to them. Okay, all right, it's the ramen, right?
It's the ramen, yes, it is.
Okay.
I was nervous because I kind of threw the chicken noodle soup and beef stroganoff, and I'm like,
yeah. No, that was a good curveball.
All right. Name 3 of the 4 items in a Grand Slam breakfast. No multiple choice.
Like from Denny's?
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't even call what restaurant it was from, but yes.
Okay. Well, so you're saying like, so the Grand Slam breakfast that they advertised about 20 years ago. This is awesome. Let's see.
I can't tell that's serious.
There's got to be eggs and bacon, right?
Yep, you got 2.
Okay, and then there's like toast.
Is that your answer? I can't tell if you're spitballing or.
Well, what did you say? Name how many of the items?
3 of the 4.
Oh, so I can't get any wrong, is what you're saying.
Well, you can if you say my answer is whatever.
All right, I'll go with toast.
All right, it's wrong. It's 2 buttermilk pancakes, 2 eggs, 2 bacon strips, and 2 sausage links. That's their Grand Slam.
So they got bacon and sausage, not toast.
Yeah, not toast. Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Crazy that I couldn't remember that one.
I mean, I'm surprised you knew it from 20 years. I wouldn't have known if you asked me. All right. The last one. This famous chef is known for putting O's in spaghetti and ravioli. Is it A, Gordon
Chef
Ramsay?
Boyardee.
Oh, let me get through the question. All right. Well, you got it.
I'm excited about it. Sorry.
All right. No, I was going to. Do you know his first name? Because I was going to trip you up with his first name.
Edward.
Ettore Boyardee. Okay. So nice. You got it. You passed.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of food, we mentioned we got our top 3 trail snacks. It's time to reveal. Ben, what are your top 3? What you got?
Oh, do you remember what I brought when you ate in my van? It was my favorite.
Like fruit by the foot?
Yeah, well, that, but I had Gushers. And the Gushers.
Okay, Gushers, yeah. I didn't eat those in your van because they were all eaten.
Yeah,
so
that's it. I had the container, the box, the empty box, because I brought them all 24 of them.
Okay.
Gushers, beef sticks. I love beef sticks, like jalapeno, different varieties, and then Chex Mix are my top 3. So Gushers, beef sticks, Chex Mix.
Those are very different. Yeah. You have like super sweet chemically. You have the savory crunchy, and then you have the protein. So that's you got a mix there for sure.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Obviously, one of mine is the Snickers energy bar. So I've got that.
Yep.
And then I keep on mentioning moon cheese. I love the moon cheese. And then the third one is I've been using more, I'd say, the last couple of years, which is the honey stinger chews, where they just have the best flavors, the cherry cola and the stingerita lime.
Yeah.
And I typically will have those either in the morning or not too long before we get to camp, so I have energy to kind of, do all the camp chores right when I get there.
Did you said those are the caffeinated ones?
I think both those are caffeinated, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had the cherry cola ones, and those are really good. But same thing. If I'm about doing like a long push up a hill or something, I'll down a whole packet of those caffeinated ones and do it.
Yeah. And speaking of that, the caffeinated ones, the Bolt makes some chews that has like the yerba mate caffeine, which is more like the green tea caffeine, which is not as like energy spiky as these other ones. And I definitely feel like more kind of long-term sustained energy with the Bolt. Their flavors are fine. I just don't like the flavors as much as the honey stinger ones.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I was more nervous because I don't like doing like coffee in the morning as much. So I get nervous, like kind of weaning myself off backpacking, how my headaches, if you get headaches or whatever from all the coffee and lack of caffeine.
Right.
So I like bringing them as like a substitute for all that. So it's good.
Oh, okay. That's good. We got some interesting, like diverse options there. Okay. All right. Last tidbit I've got, I mentioned we got a Derek update. And so Derek and I just chatted, and if everything goes according to plan, so he's coming back next week for an episode. We never recapped our summer trip where we had all the crazy things happen, so we'll probably chat about that. It feels like I'm kind of like saying goodbye to Ben right here, but I'm not, because for those that have listened to the show for a while, you know that Derek does a terrible job showing up to interviews. And I think, what is he, like 1 out of every 4, maybe? And I just really enjoy having Ben as part of the show and doing the interviews. He's I poke fun at him for asking questions, but he really is a lot of fun. He does a really good job connecting with our guests and kind of helping to create long-term relationships with them. And so Ben's going to be part of the show moving forward. When Derek can't make the interviews, I'm going to lean on Ben to be the co-host for those. So that's kind of where we're going with this. Ooh. Yeah?
Sweet. Yeah. Okay. Love it.
All right. That's all I got. Got anything else?
All right. Yeah, remember, if you're not eating food, you're not eating.
Okay. Have a good week and God bless everybody.
I want to fly around the world.
Yo, B&B, it's Christmas Day right now. But last night on Christmas Eve, I took the family, after going to more family's house, around the neighborhood to look at some of our favorite Christmas lights. And while roaming the neighborhood looking at the lights, there were tons of dudes wearing pajama pants and stuff like that. And I'm about to pull a bunch of dudes' man cards right now and tell them, you are not a man. You need to find a changing place and get out of those. And then after I decided not to do that and just to enjoy the lights and my kids and family and everything, I was like, man, I said, Lord, thank you that I don't have any friends like that. I'm so grateful that I don't have any friends like that at all, that go around wearing pajama pants, only to realize halfway through that prayer of thankfulness that I do. His name is Derek, and apparently he's coming back. He's returning to the B&B. I want to be one of the first ones to welcome Derek back, but I'm not welcoming back his pajama pants.